All right, what is going on, guys? This is a recap, a follow-up on the Vosteed Raccoon, Trash Panda, if you will. And in my previous video, which I will link at the end of this, there was a couple of comments about the button lock, and they had heard that there was an issue with the button lock and creating lock fail. And lock fail is basically you can grab it here or, like a slip joint. A slip joint has no lock, so it just closes, right? Much like this, in a lock fail situation, the lock fails and it closes. And specifically, they were talking about on a spine whack test. What is a spine whack test? It's when you carefully get your hands out of the way and you smack it up against the back of the knife to see if you can make the lock fail. I'm an interactive channel. You guys asked the questions. I still had the knife here, so I did go and check it. And yes, I can make the button lock fail by spine whacking it on my hand, okay? Sometimes. It doesn't happen every time. A lot of people are going to be... All right, so there you go. I didn't count how many times I hit it. I'm not going to duplicate it again and again, because every time you do that, you are then now creating more of a problem. All right, so what's my point? As you saw in the thumbnail, is it a problem? Is it a real world problem? Lock fail is a thing and it shouldn't be tolerated. And, it's not good. But is it a real world problem? And what I mean by that is when you're out using this knife, am I concerned that it's going to fail and cut my fingers? Not really. I mean, this is a personal thing. I am not too worried about that because in normal situations, you are cutting in this direction, which is forcing the blade more open. Okay? You're not cutting with the back end. You're not applying a lot of pressure in this angle when you're using the knife. So I have been using knives for a long time. Been collecting, doing videos for like 3 years, but back when I was in like the construction trades, I was using a knife every day. A lot. Several times a day and whatnot. I personally never have had a lock fail on me out in the wild, out in the real world, doing real world things, EDC things, anything like that. Sure, in torture tests or in spine whacking or in just testing the strength of a lock when I've gotten it out of the box on a new blade or something like that, I kind of fudge with it a little bit. And I have had some. Had 4 really big ones, all from the same maker, actually, all in the same model. And they all ended up with lock fail. One of them actually cut me pretty bad, but it was because I was goofing around. Like I was testing it and I was, blah, blah, blah. And my finger was in the way and it cut me 5 minutes out of the box because I was testing it like the maker did in his videos and, whatnot, right? I was dumb back then. So those are really the only lock fails I've had personally. I had another knife in here that was a little bit loose and the maker kept telling the owner that it just needed to be opened and closed another, couple hundred times and that would strengthen the lock. Well, at about 1,200 opens and closes, it became a slip joint. So I sent that straight back to the maker and they fixed it and sent it on to the owner. But that's a whole different story. So tell me down below your thoughts. Is lock fail once in a while? I mean, I'm not going to say is it acceptable, because it's not acceptable. Okay. It's not acceptable. But is it okay-ish? And would you send this back or would you not? If it was a frame lock, for instance, how about this Chavez that I am going to do a video on next, or film here next, not be released next, maybe. Frame lock. If this was brand new out of the box and it had lock fail, I would probably send it back brand new out of the box. Sure. This is not brand new. The previous owner has had it and used it and done some stuff. So I don't know if it had lock fail out of the box. Out of the box, a brand new knife? Sure. Do I test every knife that I get and spine whack it? No, because that's not real world, in my opinion. Please disagree with me or give me your thoughts down below. I would kind of like to hear them. These Chavezes are really cool, but it's something that I want, but I would not keep, if that makes sense. We'll talk about that in the video that I do on this. Stay tuned for that. So let me know your thoughts on lock fail. Is it a real world problem? On the spine whacking, if you have a knife that just doesn't lock up, then obviously that's a problem. But if it's only unlocking because you're trying to make it unlock, let me know your thoughts. Thanks, guys.